already more than halfway through. Lissandra, Jarvan, and Asriel banned off right from the bat by Insidious Gaming Legends, Graves, and Nidalee being banned by Saigon Fantastic 5.
So this is a very smart ban here by Saigon Fantastic 5. Early taking away the Graves from Valkyrie. He's played, I believe, 100% Graves last week, and they were all wins. So very smart ban there. The Rek'Sai being taken away, but they did
Morgana
not
open.
ban the Morgana, and that was the issue because you never want to ban the Nidalee or Rek'Sai on purple side. You want to give them a strong. You never want to ban both of them together on the same side, because if they do take Nidalee, you can take Rek'Sai and so on and so forth. Instead, giving over the Morgana to Rapier. The headings are a bit wrong though, Asus Fate not going up against Saigon Joker Saigon Jokers until later in the day.
It's okay, I have faith. Production will
Yeah.
take care of that one. So there we go, production changed those banners. Magic happens, but nonetheless, going back to talking about this pick and ban over here. Interesting strategy from SF5. So now they're no longer targeting out Rapier's support picks, because previously they were banning out a lot of Annie and Leona. And there we go, is the IGL highlight video, and back to the casters and pick and ban once again. So talking about SF5 straight away, locking in the Lulu and Sejuani for themselves, kind of diversifying for themselves. The Lulu flex pick can go to top, mid, as well as support. Sejuani, most likely a jungle. A lot of people consider it to be a top tier jungler in the current 5.5 patch. We have to see what IGL decides to respond to that with Nidalee and Rek'Sai being banned out already.
I have to compliment SF5. The pick and ban phase looking much stronger this game. Leaving open the Morgana as well as Lulu on purple side forces IGL to select one of these champions, and as a result they chose Morgana instead. Normally IGL likes to take their Lulu whenever Morgana is banned out because LY4 is just so good in the champion.
I mean, I have to feel a little bit concerned for IGL over here, because if they go for Udyr as well as LeBlanc, they're going to have a little bit of a problem dealing with a double AD composition should SF5 decide to go for it. But they've already banned out the Asriel, so that's one major concern for themselves down. So they switch over to pick up the Corki for themselves. I like the way that they're adapting to this one.
Sorry guys, a bit of couple issues with just the technical stuff today, but taking away the Corki from Minus is a smart pick. The Vietnam teams have really preferred that first rotation, second rotation Corki, so taking that away will force him onto something else. We've seen Minus play the Tristana as well, and they do have the makings of a hyper carry, protect the AD carry composition with the Lulu as well as Orianna. I wouldn't like the Sivir here just because against Insidious Gaming Legends, it's rather easy for them to pick you off before you even use the team fight powers of Sivir. They have that Morgana as well as LeBlanc, so a bit tricky if they decide to go with the Huntress there.
But we have to see what else will be complementing SF5's loadout, because some people feel that Nautilus is a pretty good solution to LeBlanc. The moment you distortion in, drop the death charge onto her, and it's going to follow her all the way back as she returns to a team.
The thing
is,
is,
pretty good engagement too, and solution to LeBlanc.
You never want to take the Nautilus when the enemy team has Morgana, because you have to blow a major ultimate, which can get very predictably black shielded away. So as a result, I think Nautilus not that strong in this pick and ban phase here, locking the Xerath into the Blanc. Very proud here, Optimus, or rather, a bit of hubris being shown here by the mid laner from
I think it's just confidence. It's just confidence coming from Optimus. We have to see how he deals with this matchup. Some people feel that if you're able to aggressively shove into the lane, there's one very effective method to do with LeBlanc, because then when you have the minion wave pushing into your turret, you have to choose. Do I use my mana to clear out the minion wave, or should I be using it to pressure my opponent in the lane itself?
Yeah, but it's not just the lane matchup that I'm worried about, because Insidious Gaming Legends has yet to show their jungler. If they pick someone with early abilities to gank and pressure the map, like say a Vi here in this instance, Optimus will have to play very safely, and they do have the Morgana on their side, which means that SF5 can't deny the engage coming in from Insidious Gaming Legends. If they do lock in that Maokai as well, the dive buddies together will be looking to wreak some havoc in the back lines. Optimus not going to have a good day here.
Well, if they go for the Maokai as well as the Vi, it will be something that Insidious Gaming Legends squad is very comfortable playing. They will be getting this. Oh, in fact, they swapped the Vi over for the Siren, so they'll be going for once again an engagement 2 onto the Xerath, as well as some from the scaling in the jungle to go up against Sejuani.
And we were talking about this during the break when we were kind of sorting out the technical problems. Double tanks in this meta is actually incredibly strong because of your ability to dive past turrets and have a sort of inevitability in the late game where they start scaling up in health and the enemy can't really deal with them. Whereas SF5 fielding a bit of a traditional double AP composition, very popular in 5.4. It's kind of the new meta versus the old meta clashing hits now.
I mean, I have to feel that the Nautilus pick here for SF5 is something that we've seen a little bit in the being played by Cloud9's Lemon Nation in the NALCS, and I think if SF5 decide to pick it up here, it will be a nice complement to their team composition, provide them with some nice options to get what IGL is bringing, and some decent peel for the backline as well. But it looks like they intend to send in Lulu as the support and hacker him up into the top lane in order to deal with the Maokai. We'll have to see how that works out for them. I'm not really thrilled by hacker him against Maokai because you can get camped out, but considering the IGL, they're sending a silent jungle, maybe they might be able to get away with this one.
Now, this Hecarim pick here, Azizi has to take either Flash or Ghost to escape, because Maokai and Sion have an immense amount of kill pressure.
He might go for Ignite. Just go for the Ignite.
Yeah, but if you take the Teleport Ignite, then it's very simple for LY4 and Hallelujah to just set up camp in the top, as you mentioned, and without any free escapes, the Twisted Advance into Arcane Smash is going to be very easy to set that Hecarim behind. And the thing about the matchup is that LY4 on Maokai will be able to heal up quite rapidly. With the way Rampage works, you have to keep spamming that Q on Hecarim to get the damage down, and every couple of Rampages, LY4 is just going to heal all back, and I think in terms of trades, we'll be looking to this Maokai to come out ahead.
Definitely. I mean, the way we have been seeing a lot of Hecarim against Maokai in the top lane of the GPL, I have to say it hasn't really been working out so far, because we will see the Hecarim go up into the top lane, and then it would just draw a lot of attention from the jungler, and Hecarim will either end up giving kills or end up falling behind in CS. And as a Hecarim, you want to be hitting those early power spikes, you want to be bullying out your lane, and you want to be snowballing as this phantom horse. But he is going to be going for the Ignite in the case, so he's going to be going for the YOLO Hecarim, like I was kind of predicting over there. So it's just go big or go home. He's just going to be calling Hallelujah up to top lane. Okay, come fight me. Perhaps he might call Jinky up to top lane as well. Call for some assistance over there, and perhaps you might see some interesting 2v2s in the top lane as well. Yeah,
and frankly speaking, I'm not too worried, because Aussies, even though SF5 has been kind of slumping in the couple of weeks that we've seen them play in the GPL Group Stage 2, he's been one of the bright sparks in this team, a very consistent team player. Give him Lissandra, even though he get camped out, he'll still come out rather relevant in team fights and still be able to maximize his impact on the game. So even though this Hecarim could fall behind early on, I'm looking to Azizi as a player just to carry his own weight. The whole composition though, looking rather strong. They have a good amount of hard engage as well as peel.
The thing I have to talk about here is exhaust on the Xerath. I mean, if you're playing against Zed, you're playing against perhaps a very all-in AD carry, maybe a Jinx or something going to shut down the damage by a lot. Exhaust would be great against those champions, but in this case, you're up against a Maokai, you're up against LeBlanc in the mid lane, is a Corki as an AD carry. Exhaust on the Xerath, I will feel the heal, maybe even barrier, or perhaps even teleport on the Xerath might be more useful over
The thing is, going up against LeBlanc, she's not going to look to all-in you until you're low enough to get all-in, so distortion into QR, you can't predict that damage, and if you decide to exhaust her, then she can just juke back to where she started her distortion, and look, you just wasted a summoner spell for free, so very good point there, Optimus going a bit greedy with his summoner spells, but I think in turn, the exhaust itself provides a bit more CC for him to land his Out of the Storm as well as the Shocking Orb if Jinky comes to gank, so it's kind of a
aggressive exhaust.
It's kind of a double-edged sword for Optimus here. If he can get the early kill onto Rune, if Rune looks for early like pressure, he all-ins Optimus, you get the exhaust, call for Jinky to come around, and you could very well turn it into a 2v1 and snowball that lane.
Let's talk about the big picture over here. In terms of scaling, who do you think has the advantage?
Now the tricky issue is that Corki scales really badly with levels, so he falls off really hard at a certain point, where Sivir still stays really relevant because she does a lot of auto attack damage, and her itemization will be looking to multiply criticals. Insidious Gaming Legends as a whole though, the team, they scale very well with health and ability power on that LeBlanc and as well as the two tanks, so in one department they excel, whereas in the other department they fall off, and their mid-game though is looking to be rather strong when they all hit their respective tank as well as AP AD items. So I think scaling definitely in favor of SF5, but the mid-game in favor of IGL.
Well, in the mid-game is where IGL will be looking to make their plays in the mid-game like you have mentioned. So Trinity Force on the Corki is something that we will have to be looking out for, and the Hallelujah jungle on Sion is something that we have to watch out as well.
It is 5.5, so Cinderhawk enchantment available in this patch. We could see him, as we come back to the caster screen, but yeah, we could see him break, sort of build into the Cinderhawk and then full health, get a bit of MR, and then, you know, we were kind of theory crafting Face of the Mountain, right? That could be the very likely 4th or 5th pickup here for Insidious Gaming Legends jungler, Hallelujah.
Well, Hallelujah on the Scion. It's a very interesting jungle. I mean, I tried playing once or twice in solo queue. It was absolutely miserable to play. My teammates are just raging at me all the time because I just couldn't land any of my skill shots. So the E is hard to land, the Q is so unreliable, and your ultimate takes a certain degree of practice to be able to drift into your opponents with that incoming truck.
Yeah, the pain train, as I like to call it. Going up against Xerath, if you can land that onto and get your ganks down, it should be rather fun times for your team.
It does deal a deceptive amount of damage,
Yeah.
especially if you do run.
You have to
quite a
land it head on for it to deal the maximum amount of damage, but if you just stop and slam it in the AoE where the enemies are, it's still a good amount of slows. Lets you land your knock-up as well as angry shout.
I think what's working out here for IGL is that the Roar of the Slayer, the Angry Shout as
Yeah, Angry
Hungry Key
Shout.
coins it, does do a fair bit of armor and magic resistance. It
That's true.
removes, it shreds away 30% of that. It's going to be amplifying a lot of damage that will be coming in from the AoE damage should he be able to land some poke. I mean, we have a pseudo siege composition from IGL coming in. He will be able to use the Roar of the Slayer, do some snooker gaming, roll those creeps into his opponents. Valkyrie follows up with a missile. This is going to be chunking down SF5 for quite a fair chunk of damage.
Yeah, IGL playing their traditional pick comp that we always know them for, having the LeBlanc and Morgana in the same team. SF5 will have to rely a lot on good vision control to not get caught out, because if you get hit by a binding and LeBlanc is around, you're just going to die immediately. This team as a whole though has developed their style pretty well. We've seen them start out playing pick compositions, transition a bit more into team fight oriented styles of play with the Rumble and Sejuani, even going into double AD at a certain point in time, but now reverting back to what they know best.
I mean, my concern here is definitely for Minus and Carrot in the bottom lane. Valkyrie and Rapier, when they do get the 2v2 lane, they usually tend to do very well, forcing their opponents to blow summoner spells really early on and demanding the jungler's attention as well, by just simply being so aggressive in the lane. You always see Rapier go for the Ignite summoner spell whenever he has this Morgana, and his ability to land those skill shots into them has just been so impressive, and we actually do see LeBlanc with an interesting start picking up the Razor Beaks for himself.
And not just LeBlanc, but Maokai as well got a good deal of experience on that wave, so the response Optimus shoving the wave up is the smart choice. Level 2 will be hit by LY4 before Ozizi, and that's gonna allow Hallelujah to come up and gank and put some early pressure down if he chooses.
So this is very classic IGL. They just shove up the lane as Corki Morgana, and there we go. Once the moment Rapier hits level 2, we have to be watching out for those Dark Miners. He's just so good with those skill shots. I mean, when he plays in the local scene, people just ban. They might even spend all three bans him. They ban his Blitzcrank, they ban his Trash, they ban his Morgana. Because that's how scary he is on this skill shot champion.
I think Morgana by far is still his scariest
Oh,
champion.
there we go. Oh, that's a miss.
Not connecting on the first one. Don't worry, a couple of chances will be available. Mid-game trades, Optimus as well as Rune, very heavily in favor. And Jinky in the jungle though, getting taken very low at the top lane though. You see a visit by Hallelujah and LY4, trying to get a gank down onto Ozizi, but nothing gonna come out of that one.
Rather interesting, Azizi doesn't have his trinket ward up. Does get any fix? He's moving to the side brush over there to ward it, knowing that very well a jungle gang might be coming his way. And interesting mind games coming from SF5.
Looking much more on point this time. The binding narrowly misses Carrot. Valkyrie gets...
It's like what they say about Singaporeans, you can't praise them. The moment you praise them, oh!
Yeah.
0 of 2.
It's the caster's curse, J-Storm. Very good fight being put up here by SF5 in the bot lane. I think we've talked about Valkyrie and Rapier being a very consistent force, while Minus and Carrot, a newer duo, but still no slouches in the bot lane as well. Trading rather effectively, coming out here in CS.
There we go, the aggressive play coming in. The Vigilant does land the Boomerang Blade, and the dog biting forces a flash as Hallelujah comes in from the sides. And there's going to be summoner spells being burned by SF5. We have to see if Hallelujah does make a repeat appearance in this bot lane. Now definitely with the flash of Voodoo being down, it will be a lot easier to land this knockup from the Decimating Smash.
Yeah, but he had to flash. Had he not flashed, it would have been first blood right there for at least Hallelujah or Valkyrie. And we are going to meet Jinky here in the river.
Oh, misses the Arctic Assault. Smites away the Skullcrab. Is a small victory for SF5 over there, as we see him taking a slight lead of 200 gold coming from all the CS differences.
If you notice on the map, the moment Jinky spotted out Hallelujah, Carrot just walked up the river and see Jinky here behind the Tri-Brush as IGL don't know that a gank is coming in.
Oh, here we go. Arctic Assault cancels the Valkyrie. Is Valkyrie unable to escape away from this one? L1 comes in from the teleport. It is cancelled. Rapier in a whole bunch of trouble. Flash into the queue. Rapier is still alive, but here comes the Silent as the response. Do SF5 turn onto this one? Jinky, Arctic Assault will be coming up cooldown soon. Raw of the Slayer comes in onto them, and they do turn around. Arctic Assault once again misses. Does he get the flow of the Nautilus? He does decide to back off in the end.
And it was Optimus that was roaming down from the mid lane, so a lot of pressure once again being put by SF5 in the bot lane here. Replying gank for gank, Jinky doing a very good job on this Sejuani, and I think in the previous weeks he played Sejuani but not too great. In fact, missed a lot of Glacial Prisons, shaping up rather well this week to make up for his mistakes in the previous one.
And now here's the thing, the Hack Group is getting what he wants. He's able to get the pressure onto the Maokai, shot him in early, and this was what they're looking for. The gangs from Hallelujah haven't really been able to do all that much, and now Hallelujah might find himself in a little bit of trouble. Does flash away from the Glitter minus into turret shot because of the creep block. He's going to be dropping down low. Does Hallelujah go for this one? Minus does get the first blood, and now he has to flash away.
Yeah, misplay there by Hallelujah. I'm not particularly sure what he was trying to do there. Gives first blood over to the bot lane, and that's going to help them snowball this pretty hard in the matchup. There was already 50-50. Questionable decision coming from the jungler of this gaming legends. Maybe thinking that he could take on the AD carry one-on-one.
I mean, looking a little bit sloppy over here. Hallelujah, he was able to find success on the Silent Jungle in the game against SAJ, but this game hasn't really been working out for him so far.
And SAJ, it has to be said, probably the weaker of the sister teams now. SF5 2-0 assist Fate the previous week, and when we talk about SF5, they're a team that likes to play the methodical, slow game. They like to play the timer team fight compositions, and right now they're showing that their calculations are paying off at least. They did the pick and ban phase rather well, transitioning the early game effectively, and now with the early lead, should be looking to take small advantage here.
Jinky does want to put some pressure onto the mid lane. A roam up from the bottom lane does come from Carrot as well, but this is going to leave the AD carry solo on the bottom lane up against Rapier and Valkyrie. Now that's a very dangerous duel to be up against.
Yeah, this is really harsh for the bot lane. Minus already has a BF sword, whereas the Phage not even completed on Valkyrie. Not gonna come out very happy of this. Trades will be in the favor of SF5 from now on.
And that was what we're talking about, using the Zeref against LeBlanc. Yes, LeBlanc does have a lot of kill potential onto you, but as a Zeref, you're able to shove in the lane very aggressively, just spend your mana, spam down those minions, and force the LeBlanc to CS under the turret.
I think the Silent takes a while to ramp up. Most tank junglers now in 5.5 take a while to ramp up, and you just can't gank that mid lane without point and click CC onto the Xerath. Your chains, if they don't connect, will not guarantee you any kills. Kill pressure very heavily in favor of SF5 now with the lead.
Blue Phosphorus Rum does hit 2 people, but the mechanics of how this lane works, the help pick Shield is going to be helping SF5 negate a lot of the damage simply because the Phosphorus Rum is a rather telegraph skill. Oh, there we go, Minus gets the Whimsy for it, does spell shoot out. The Dark Binding coming from Rapier, excellent mechanics from the SF5 bot lane, and now Rapier under some pressure. Phosphorus Bomb is good, and IGL, they do come in and come out ahead of that.
Oh, mid lane, the Optimus gets taken very, I want to say low, but not connecting with any of the other spells there. Falling. Minus falling immediately, and Valkyrie turning the damage onto Carrot. The teleport coming in from Ozizi.
I mean, the clutch Dark Binding has just been so good, but here comes Ozizi. Does he get the charge? And Dark Binding so good! Now he's locked up under the tower right now. Does Rapier get the kill? 2 more auto attacks. Is he able to find it? And here comes Carrot from the sidelines. Is Rapier able to get this one? The Tormentor Soil or the Dark Binding. Oh. He does get it! Rapier just so good with this one. Soul Shackle comes around from the side as well, but here comes the rest of the backup. Jinky comes and swings his spell around, and Carrot does get the kill.
That was
Rapier.
A great Dark Binding into the brush, totally blind without any vision, but overextending with the Soul Shackles, had to draw pressure away from SF5 in the mid and top, but a lot of resources being committed into the bot lane by SF5 here, whereas LY4 and Rune got some time alone in the lane to catch up in CS. Look at this, just 2 behind in the top lane, and even despite being shoved in on Rune, Optimus did a very good job roaming down to get an assist, and it is Dragon being activated by SF5 here. Jinky as well as Minus looking to take this one down. No knowledge on the side of IGL, no ward as well.
What looked like it could have been a rather disastrous situation for IGL. Fantastic Dark Binding from Rapier to turn around the situation at the end of the 2-4-2. but SF5 in the end, yep, they can control the bottom side of the map for now, and they easily translate that into a dragon for themselves. Oh, once again, Duck Biting does land. Rapier does clear the ward over there, and with the pink one in this prime position over here, SF5, they're going to be feeling a little bit more heat in the bottom lane.
Yeah, like what we're seeing from SF5 so far. They need to be able to get into this mid game rather strong. Hallelujah coming down the bot side for a gank, but yeah, they have to enter the mid game with the advantage.
I'm just waiting for it. There we go. Here comes the Patron, and Minus responds to the ultimate as well. And oh, fight again. Ah, if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
On the hunt, being traded for the Pain Train, the unstoppable onslaught. Not too bad of a trade, no kill or summoner spells being blown. They will discover that dragon has been taken away, but yes, I was saying before the gank happened, I love what SF5 is doing here. They know they have to enter the mid game with an advantage, considering IGL spiked so hard. And that's what they're doing right now. 1,000 gold ahead, translating the items as well. BF and the making of a CU. A bit of trading goes down the bot lane.
Ruby tries to get a sneaky duck running in onto Kara, but that one doesn't really work out all too well. You see in the top lane over here a small duo between LY4 as well as ZZ's Hackerim. Not really even in CS at the moment. LY4 picking up an early Glacier Shroud. That's going to be giving him some good cooldown reduction. Talk me through the itemization of Maokai a little bit, because that's one champion we've never seen a very standardized itemization top for.
He picked up the early Glacier Shroud because one, the item is so cost effective, you can just afford to pick up alone. Bit of damage goes down the bot lane. But he will be looking to build into a Catalyst rather soon, as we see Jinky sitting on the side. He will be spotted out by the ward and clears that out. Hallelujah. Similarly in the river. But yes, the Glacier Shroud pickup, just because it's so cheap and cost effective, you can take that early into lane. Actually boost your own defensive stats against this mostly physical damage Hackerim.
Well, you might be going for the Captain Planet build. Just go for these small cost efficient items and then combine them into big items in the late game and hit this crazy power spike as Maokai.
Miner's very lucky that the rocket previously did not connect it, or else the binding would have connected after the spell she went down. Probably a kill for IGL there, but I think SF5 responding very well. 1-2 punches early game, very strong for them.
The movements from the junglers around the map so far, both mastering for gangs, getting some good vision down. SF5, I have to compliment the very defensive line of wards, grouping wards, just deep in their own area, making sure that there's no monkey business with Hallelujah meddling in their own jungle.
And think about this Sion jungle, you have to come around behind for your most effective ganks, as Wildgrove was popped by a carrot in the bot lane. A lot of damage probably went down there, has to recall now.
Let's just use it as a heal over there, because Lulu knows she will be recalling, so she just drops the Wildgrove down. Okay, I'm gonna heal up the AD carry after I go back to base.
Makes it back to base. River along both sides here, very well controlled by IGL. Just a lot of good
Oh, the Dark Binding from Rapier comes in, Phosphorus Ball comes in, and Minus does go down. Valkyrie and Rapier just making the plays happen in this bottom lane.
Yeah, very well played here. 2-0, 2-1 and 0, excuse me, is this Corki. SF5 slowly starting to lose their advantage, bleeding out by a couple of misplays here and there. The next dragon will be IGL's if they manage to claw their way evenly into this mid game. Morellonomicon is completed by both mid laners, and despite that, Rune will have the added advantage because he's so much more mobile than Optimus, and if Optimus keeps shoving the wave up with the Pain Train available from Sion, it's very easy to gank that lane once the chains connect.
I mean, once again, I have to talk about SF5's pick and ban. Every time Rapier is able to show up so huge in this Morgana. In fact, it kind of feels like he's carrying IGL on his back for this early period of the game, just creating so many plays in the bottom lane itself.
Yeah, this was an IGL bot lane that went down one kill early on because Hallelujah kind of overextended and overmatched his capabilities, but they're coming back rather strong now.
Oh, Rune just eats a garish over there. The Glacier Prison does come in from Jinky, and Rapier comes around the side, just barely misses the Dark Binding onto the Zeref. Carrot is there for support as well. But looks like SF5, they will not be pursuing the matter.
Yeah, there's a big ultimate down, and SF5 can't afford to chase without the Glacial Prison to disengage/re-engage, hence just backing off. Teleport as well available from both top laners, and if they both join in, it's going to be a tough ride.
Oh, Rapier coming in, he flashes forward, does get the Dark Binding down, Wildgrove onto himself. Hallelujah comes in from the side, they do get Carrot, but here comes the Maokai. Teleport from the top lane, Azizi immediately chops one down, and LY4 just soaking up all his damage. Here comes the charge. Valkyrie unable to stay alive, and now with Minus to deal all the damage. Can they win this fight? IGL has to back off, but here comes Optimus as well. Exhaust out Rune. The stun does miss right off the arcade. Second shot, the third shot, does he get it? Arcano Pulse misses once again, but under all the pressure, in the end, they do pick up the Scion.
Yeah, it was Rune that managed to juke away with the distortion and get away from that fight unscathed, but 4 members of his team falling. IGL not looking good now. That was what I was talking about. The teleport being available for SF5 is so much stronger than the teleport for IGL. The onslaught of shadows is just so powerful, and now with the home guards as well, LZZ can be ever present around the map.
IGL getting caught out a little bit too greedy over there, going too aggressively for the play. Valkyrie did not have his escape spell available for himself, was focused on just way too fast in that fight, and as a result, SF5, they came out huge in that one. They took out the major damage threats, and then after exhausted up the secondary ones, without Rune in the picture, without Valkyrie in the picture, it's just simply a matter of cleanup.
And that fight was a SF5 without the Glacial Prison. Had Jinky not used that early on, it would have been disastrous for IGL. Very possibly a clean ace in the bot lane. Had the ultimate been up.
Trinity Force is now completed on the Corki, Morello Nomicon on the LeBlanc. I guess this is the point that we are talking about power spikes on these 2 major damage sources. The Maokai having a very delayed Roar of Ages in the top lane.
Delayed indeed, and you normally want that Roar of Ages by the 14th, maybe 15th minute. Instead, IGL not really having the components, or not really having the recipe, only the components.
Oh, Valkyrie once again getting very aggressive with the Valkyrie fort, and Jinky does throw down the Glacier Prison. That slowed up 2 members, doesn't get the lockdown though, and now they're just cutting back and forth. Hallelujah supporting from the back. Does he pop the ultimate? Not really willing to come into this one. They're still waiting for LY4 to join the fight, and looks like nothing will be happening.
Yeah, this is a good chunk by IGL though. They use the composition to effect, send the rockets and bindings out, and chunk members of SF5 before the fight begins. Carrot has the recall minus rather low now, as Optimus does his best to poke members of IGL off.
Saturn 2, 1 and 4 has the Sheen completed as well as some defensive stats for himself. Now I have to feel as much as IGL they're hitting the power spike SF5, if they're able to get into the right positions, don't you think that they will be able to take the fight?
It's not just getting the right positions, it's the fact that if they arrive they can just force fights. Because they have the damage in their pocket, they have the hard engage in their pocket. IGL has to poke members of SF5 down first. Rune getting taken very low right off the arcade.
Right off the arcade, does he get it? He jukes back in. Does he get a second one? The distortion is the charge is good, but there we go. The hack room goes and pops the ultimate and does get a kill onto the LeBlanc in the end.
Those are very big ultimates down from SF5 right off the arcade as well as onslaught of shadows. That's how the damage from SF5 was going to come in now. If they start this dragon with the man advantage, it still could be rather risky. Valkyrie off the side without a lot of mana, can't poke them down as well. Second dragon of the game going over to SF5 now, and they're gonna look very scary in this late game. They've such good control of the 17-minute mark, extending their goalie to 3,000 now.
I mean, the hack room top lane, I was just saying that it hasn't been working out for the GPL team, but here at SF5, they were able to prevent the ganks coming. They identified the right situation for them to play, and it has been working wonders for them. 3, 1 and 4. You have to be able to just simply charge it and get damage onto their opponent.
You have to say it was OZZ's just brilliant play in the top lane. We're talking about how he faked the ward out, managed to get a safe laning phase for himself. And all in all, this player has been amazing me this game.
I'm gonna wonder if he has a sore throat, because he is definitely sounding hoarse right now.
3, 1 and 4. Maybe not too hoarse after all. Once he finishes up that Triforce, it's going to be a rather big power spike for SF5. Normally, when you get the home guards, you delay your core build by quite a bit, but he's actually ahead of LY4 in itemization now. Of course, the Roar of Age is going to take a while to kick in, hence the immediate strength of the Trinity Force. Jinky sitting up in the top lane, wants to find a kill onto LY4. Can't overextend too hard.
Oh, DG comes in, does knock him around. He's just going to be creating some damage back and
That
forth.
should tell LY4 there's something.
Trap.
That should tell LY4 that there's someone in the brush. Normally in the top lane, you don't try to knock someone back without extra reinforcements coming in. You normally just go for the free damage in the devastating charge. So very telegraphed there by LZZ.
They're going to be pulling Carrot up as well. This looks like it's going to be 3-man effort onto LY4 on the top lane. The Maokai definitely has got to be careful. I mean, he is rather tanky with the Glacier Shot as well as the Rob Ages complete already, but with 3-man onto him with damage slow, it's going to be a difficult task.
And the issue,
escaping away from
the issue that IGL has,
to push up the lane.
The issue that IGL has is that they have no safe wave clear apart from Corki, and he's going to be in one lane only at each point in time. So once LY4 falls down, as well as Rune, they can siege with impunity, and IGL will have no response to that.
There we go. Sion picks up the Scuttle Crab. It's kind of a mini game actually when you're playing with all those unreliable spells of Siren. It's like, oh, it's
Will he
crap.
juke me?
Is he
Will
gonna
I
juke
get
me?
it?
Rob the Slayer goes down. Razor Beaks are gonna be picked up by Jinky. Oh, stolen away by Hallelujah, but just a small one. Survey stance goes down onto Rapier. Optimus has been a fair chunk of damage.
It
from
was
Dark
the
Binding.
exhaust blown by Optimus though, so that's a big Summoner Spell down. SF5 should not be looking to fight
Wow, the
here.
Arcane comes in. Is he going to be going for Rapier? 3 shots. Rapier does juke them all out. But here comes Rune from the right side. Jinky with the drift into the frozen Vola, but is unable to get the lock. He's
massive
looking
knockup.
for, but there we go. Here comes the engagement. Hacker just chopping away. There we go. How much more is he going to chop? Minus this gut one kill is a 1-0 and SF5. The Chung IGL down low. The book's going to be continuing from there. How much more are they going to be able to get? You will be wanting to pressure this objective. Corky cannot be near this. Also, Zerv is just going to be doing too much damage. And this is going to be a turret over to the side of Fantastic 5.
Communication from the side, IGL faltering very heavily. LY4 went in flash, got the arcane smash, but
it's easy.
he paid for it because the rest of the team did not follow up when he used the arcane smash and went in. So SF5 pick up a 3 kill and a turret, getting a lot of damage down as well. Rune just picks up Optimus, gets another one. Minus gonna fall as well. A bit of, I want to say, recovery there, but with Dragon up in 3 minutes, IGL can't take anything off this kill.
I mean, there's got to be one of those back in the game moment, guys, kind of feeling. You just go out there, you kill the 2 damage officers, and it's like, okay, I just got an influx of 1,000 gold. What am I gonna do with this? Complete the next core item, and suddenly the LeBlanc 2 with those 2 kills. Might be relevant in the game once again.
Going to build the Business Scepter, in fact, has finished that up now. Won't help him against LZZ though, but against Optimus as well as Carrot, will be able to deal a bit more damage. Valkyrie going with the BF Sword, so it looks to be either the Infinity Edge or the Bloodthirster. I would gather that the former is the bad idea here. You need a bit more spike in damage, and the Infinity Edge is going to offer that to him.
I mean, Cinderhawk on the Sejuani, almost 3000 HP at the 20-minute mark. That's how ridiculous these tag junglers are going to be becoming. And especially in the late game, we've seen him hit 4000, sometimes close to about 4,500 health, with the armor and defensive stats as well. It's going to be a tall order for IGL to break down members, and Carrot is the assassination target. Does he get him? He does get the Dark Binding onto himself. Dark Binding does come out. Minus falls on the hunt and gets away from that one. Turning on his spell shield for a little bit of insurance over there.
This is one of the reasons why I always bring up the fact that you should ban away LeBlanc from Rune, because he's always going to be a problem when it comes to just controlling the map with his roams and ambushes. If you don't have enough wards, he's going to find random kills here and there, and that stifles your ability to grow as a team and start sieging, which is what SF5 needs to do.
I have to give credit to Optimus, so the way that he has been doing with Rune's LeBlanc, been playing the lane matchup rather well, and in fact being able to stay ahead in CS despite being all under all the pressure from the strength that is Rune's LeBlanc.
Yeah, indeed, Optimus playing out the Zeref rather well. Very confident, even picking the Zereth into LeBlanc does show some degree of proficiency, I believe.
I mean, this might be Optimus saying that, okay, I'm not going to be hit by any of your skill shots, which means that the only way that you guys can get to me is the Siren ultimate, which is very easy to dodge. You can feed it Telegraph, or the Maokai having a flash to set advance, and that's what Insidious Gaming Legends really needs right now.
Yeah, Death Cap already done on Optimus here. That's gonna give him a big spike in damage. And this is where SF5 starts to get very scary. They've hit that point where they can just press R on Silver and force a fight after poking members of IGL down. Of course, ZZ now, Trinity for a stun, is going to be running straight into the back lines and offering no respite to Valkyrie.
IGL trying to go for a sneaky ambush. First trying to get some poke down early with the LeBlanc and baiting the rest of SF5 into some poorly disciplined fights. Let's see if they will be able to make this happen for themselves.
I honestly think the window for IGL has closed by quite an amount here, because they don't have the ability to spike someone out yet.
Oh, Dark Binding.
Even if Carrot face checks, the wild growth is gonna just stop all the assassination coming in. So I think IGL just playing on the back foot now.
Oh, LY4 against this Maokai is going to be struggling a little bit because he is not able to push out to wave past the start. The moment he does that, this Hacker and Trinity Force completed already with a fairly sizable lead, 315% of CS. He'll be able to chop some trees.
Yes. He has itemized a bit of MR now, so LF4 gonna deal less damage to LZZ than he normally would. Dragon available. Vision totally in control of SF5, except that 2 stray wards around the pit and back of the river those aren't going to offer much navigability, or rather navigation ability, because it's not going to help them find picks in areas where SF5 won't walk across, which is where Optimus is standing right now.
SF5 moving towards the Dragon Pit. Something's going off over there. Minus, in fact, decided to start with a solo for now. Using the spell shield, you regain some mana from the Dragon's damage. It actually comes to spell. So Penton's shield doesn't block it. A spell shield from Nocturne, as well as Silver. A really good one. This tries to come in for the steal, but it's unable to do so. The Dark Binding and the burst damage from Rapier unable to find any kills either.
Cheeky attempt on the steal. Very low risk, medium reward. Unfortunately doesn't find it, so it will be a third dragon here for SF5. Gold lead has climbed to slightly under 4,000 gold for Fantastic 5 here.
So SF5 now barreling down the bot lane. They know it's their turn. They have picked a few set of major items. In fact, Banner of Command picked up by the Lulu. Let's see if we really think it used this here. I'm still waiting for that. One of my favorite items in the game. On my favorite champion? Yeah. Targeting up the turret, Rune tries to lock him down, but SF5, they just have the man advantage. They just make the power play and they pick up the turret for themselves.
Yeah, and with Zero just sitting in the back, he can just poke you off the turret while Minus he just up safely with the spell shield, of course. No further engage if Sion isn't there. And Minus can be very free to just sit in front of the turret and auto attack. Like I said, the window for IGL closing very quickly here.
I mean, IGL at this point, they need to sit down and think through the game plan for a little bit. They need to figure out what do they need to do in order to come out hit and perhaps turn this game around. If not, think about game. What went wrong in this game? How can they change the pick and ban to work in their favor a little bit better?
Take a look at the map. A lot of work being put down by SF5 and around crucial choke points of the jungle to spot out where Rune will be venturing across at all points in time. And that's allowed SF5 to have a slightly safer farming game, knowing where the LeBlanc is, and that allows them to extend a bit more. ZZ here finish up their Spirit Visage, as well as the lockout of the Iron Solari on Jinky. That's a lot of magic resist that SF5 has built up across the board as a team. Once again, diminishing the skirmish power of IGL. Last Whisper as well now for Minus.
SF5 just split all over the map at the moment, perhaps showing a little bit of hubris, as you like to put it, and just shoving out the waves, making sure that they've got map pressure. And soon perhaps they're waiting for another round of items. But the last Whisper completed already, perhaps waiting for the Banner of Command to come cooldown before they group once again to find a huge fight. LeBlanc, Sion and Morgana all headed into the bottom lane, but I just feel it's the Sion jungle that's rather problematic for Insidious Gaming Legends, simply because as a Sion, your engagement potential just isn't that reliable. And when you're up against a Lulu Xerath, you really want to be able to get in and onto the Xerath, get the early ganks down, set Xerath. And just points the fact that LeBlanc has got so much more kill potential than the Xerath.
I would have preferred Zac in this instance, swapping the Sion out. Of course, the hard engage from the Elastic Slingshot would have been much stronger and predictable.
Or just play Vive.
The issue is you can't play Vibe because they have that Lulu which denies your hard engage and elimination potential. Normally when you play Vi, you want to go in together with the LeBlanc and blow one person up. But in this case, the Lulu denies that ability, so in this case, I think Zac as a teamfight champion would have been much stronger. Split up the front and back line and allow Rune to get the flanks off and kill Optimus as well as Minus.
The game's slowing down for a little bit, but here we have LY4 getting caught out by 3 members. He's under the turret, so this is going to be providing him some safety. And a 5-man group comes in from SF5. They chunk down the turret, about 10%. They do get the turret in the end. IGL just one step behind in responding to all of these rotations from SF5.
And that has to do with the vision that SF5 had put down beforehand, only slightly expiring once they arrive at the turret.
Pings on the purple worm. Let's see if SF5 will be setting up for the major objective.
They have an insane amount of wave clear though, SF5, so they could just shove up all the waves and bait that Baron out. Of course, no vision by IGL here.
IGL. Playing the mid-lane waves at the moment, and SF5 just being very methodical about things, knowing that they have the scaling in their favor and just playing it to their strength. They are unafraid of IGL and they know that even the, as you have said, it's kind of close. So SF5 Just taking their time, choking them up on the map, and trying to gain as big a goal lead as possible before they go for the next major engage.
Yeah, there was a small window of weakness at around 12 minutes that SF5 was susceptible to, but IGL did not capitalize on that fact. Of course, we saw in the bot lane the moment Valkyrie started getting kills, that's when SF5 had exposed themselves, but IGL didn't capitalize that well, instead getting turned on by Ozizi as well as Optimus. When they roamed down, picking up the 4 kills, that was what powered SF5 through the mid game and hence put IGL on the back foot. I think in the next game when IGL starts to play, when they start talking about what they can improve on, the most important thing for them will be to recognize their own advantage as well as when they are weak and not overcommitting.
Dragon number 4 will be spawning in about 30 seconds, so that's going to be giving SF5. Putting SF5 within one more Dragon and hitting the all in bottom 5 Dragon win condition. It's extremely difficult to come back from that when your opponent has the 5 Dragon buff on them. 150 true damage takes over 3 seconds, 50 damage a second, as well as a lot of bonus stats to boot. 12% increased damage.
And Insidious Gaming Legends has no choice here.
10% movement speed, I believe.
They have no choice here. They have to contest this next Dragon by SF5. If not, the Vietnamese side can just set up camp at the 5th Dragon, as you mentioned, and force a fight that will allow them to win the game. So the vision should be put down here right now by IGL. Alternatively, they could trade it for Baron and then turn around to fight with the advantage of super minions and start shoving the waves out, but that's going to be slightly trickier because Optimus, as that Xerath, has a very good amount of siege, and our ZZ with the onslaught of shadows will allow them to force a fight.
There we go, Dragon number 4 has been started by SF5. IGL still kind of meandering around the map, not making any meaningful rotations in response to this one. In fact, you do catch out L14 up in the top lane, but Ozizi surprises the rest of the squad as well. What you were doing, Dragon, we were here, and now Ozizi is going to be locked up. Uses his auto control, try to get away, but the Soul Shackles does lock him up. In the end, it's a pure machine coming in. They pick up the kill, but SF5, all this time, they're going for it. They're going for the mid lane turret, 50%. This is going to be an inhibitor turret going over to SF5. Are they going to stay? Are they going to recall? Rune is back here to try to do this. They're going for the inhibitor. Here comes Rune. He lands the Q down. The Mimic already used on the distortion. IGL not having the damage to go for it. In fact, they start the Baron over here. SF5 will be able to respond. Xerath tries to do some damage, and Token Rapier just way too low right now. Jinky throws the ultimate and gets the lockdown. Valkyrie being dropped low. He has to pop the Q, and Jinky just soaking up so much damage from the front line. Xerath do whatever he can from the back. The Wargrove does come in. The IGL, you're on the run. Good dodge comes in. Here comes Rune as well. The Jinky is still alive. Here comes Midas and Carrot. The 80 carry just peeling away. Hallelujah. Just rushes to the front line. He punches him down. Smash, smash. The undead Juggernaut gets the bandit teeth.
Yeah, had Rune not appeared in that fight, IGL would have lost
that. But is still not over yet. Ozizi comes in. Valkyrie gets cleaned up, and Rune is still not in the clear just yet. He's got to run away from this scary death force. He turns in onto Carrot. The Ethereal Chains do miss, and now he's dealing out with support. But Ozizi comes in from the back. Rune, he needs to get away from this one. He gets the Ignite out. That's the kill onto the support. Will he be able to juke this one? Still running away. Oh, misses the Ethereal Chains. Will he be able to juke this? Deceives him. What? Ozizi chase after the wrong one, and now Rune is still on the run over here. He will be able to get the clone. Rune ticked out so close, under 100 HP, but the Mimic Distortion brings him to safety.
Yeah, that was great play coming in for a LeBlanc player. Had he not arrived in that fight to clean up Optimus, it would have been a clean sweep for SF5 right there. And despite them not getting the Baron, IGL still keeping rather relevant despite the 7,000 goal lead as well. They are in a big hole that they have to dig themselves out of, but right now still staying in the game.
I mean, there was a very close fight for themselves, but you have to look at jungler's itemization, and on this, lots of armor coming in, just showing a lot of respect to Azizi's Hackrim, the Trinity Force, and now Hackrim's going tank, but it is the Xerath in the mid lane. Completed the magic penetration item already. He's just going to be doing so much damage.
The reasoning behind why they're itemizing so much in armor and just getting a ton of Frozen Hearts, I think it's because they feel like they can blow up Optimus before he starts dealing consistent damage. And once he's out of the fight, Minus is the only one they have to worry about. And there you go, Frozen Heart is going to help them mitigate all that damage coming in. So
I kind of feel that they're ignoring the Sejuani over here. Sejuani does a deceptive amount of damage, simply because all her magic damage kills off the health.
Yeah, deceptively high amounts of damage, but if they can afford to kite away the Sejuani, hold on
They
though.
do catch on. Minus is the AD carry. He's gonna be falling. Valkyrie does get the kill. No, ZZ tries to come in from the right side. Decimating Smash does get him. A zero chase onto him as well. The horse is gonna fall. IGL did win the fight 2-0, and this might be Baron for them.
Yeah, they have to clear out the wards. They will be turning over to Baron without the On the Hunt available, as well as the Onslaught of Shadows. This is a big window, but Optimus's Xerath is still alive. He can poke all of them down. Rapier will have to make a miracle bind here to take out that Xerath. Getting very low, 6,000 health, 5,000 health, 4,000 health is the Baron. IGL might want to finish this off.
Oh, Rune just solo right now. Hour 4, Plague zoning duty right now. The rest of the team still trying to finish up the Baron. Blue team, they do get it, and they will be disengaging away from this one. Rune still surviving with a sliver of health. 4, 1 and 3 on this LeBlanc. His survival skills, his survival instinct, just right on point. IGL, they're still alive, they're still kicking, they still can turn this game around.
They have dropped the gold lead that SF5 had to 4,000 gold now, and I think LY4 has hit that point where he can constantly harass Optimus and not allow him to get skill shots off, but still not kill him, and that's what you need to do as the top laner. Just get and zone the enemy mid laner away and buy some time for your team. Zone them all off the front line. And let's take a look at the replay right here. Minus just getting caught out. He uses the spell shield for the binding, but he doesn't realize that LY4 is on the side. Flies in, gets the twisted advance, and gets blown up by Valkyrie here. And OZZ gets baited in by his AD carry, overcommits, and just the pile on crowd control takes him out. Well done by SF5, but also very uncharacteristic mistake by well done by IGL, but uncharacteristic mistake by SF5.
Well, they're playing Monopoly with a Scarcraft at the moment, and they have gotten Park Ball for themselves. So that's the 2 blue properties, but that isn't the game just yet. They still need to secure the prime property over the Dragon itself, get all 4 railways, and then perhaps they could claim some credit to their own name. But SF5, they're still ahead, they still have the skilling in their favor. And I have to say, the Brando coming on Lulu, I'm still waiting for that to come in. Come on, it's my favorite champion, favorite item. Make me proud, Carrot. Make me proud.
Banner of Command really skills well with the late game, considering it powers up the cannon minion, and late enough in the game you get 2 cannon minions per wave, and that's when it's going to get really scary for IGL. Of course, they are on a timer. Yes, you do.
I didn't know that.
At a late enough point in the game, you get 2 cannon minions a wave, and if you can power 1 up, they'll both be sieging at the same time. And take a look at IGL's roster here in terms of champions.
How many minutes are we looking at? 2 cannon minutes wave.
Really
60? 50?
No, not that late in the game. Around the 40-ish minute mark.
Ah, I see. Well, there we go. I'm the guy in your solo queue games who go, oh, surrender, Anthony. I'm feeding him 0-7. I don't want to play. I don't see 40 minutes. My game's all end in 20 minutes.
Bit of a lull in the game now, SF5. Their pace has been stagnant, considering they got caught out here and there. And that's what's allowed IGL to claw their way back into the game by quite a bit now.
Dragon is live.
Dragon is live, and this is the one that SF5 wants to get.
Minus.
Good vision being laid down by IGL though. Hallelujah has the preemptive strike on this first strike, as we sometimes say.
First strike. Let's see if they can make it a double strike in this case. IGL still hanging on to this one. This Dragon fight might be where the game just ends, as SF5 is able to pick up this one. Over Rune flanking around from the back. Oh, he gets it! That's the Xerath down, but they do steal the Dragon away. IGL, they're on the chase right now. Hallelujah goes on to ZZ, binds it up. That's the horse. How many more would they be able to get? He has to escape away from this one. IGL, they're on the chase right now. The Dragon buff burning down onto them. Rune goes in once again, gets the burst down. He gets the chase. Minus, is he able to get it? IGL, they have to back away.
Yeah, Dragon buff strongly in the favor of SF5 now, but despite that, Rune come up with the miracle play, gets the kill onto Optimus, and that was what helped IGL manage to shove away SF5.
But this Xerath, Zonya's Hourglass, is going to be completed soon. I have to feel that was an extremely wasted opportunity. I mean, they got the Xerath, that was exactly what they needed. 5-on-4, force the Dragon fight, take the Dragon away from SF5, and then take the game from there. Right back to momentum. But they just couldn't convert. I
could be wrong, but Ricochet applies the Dragon buff damage as well to everyone it hits. So I'm not sure if that's true, but if it is, that's an incredible power spike for Minus right now.
Anything, the Dragon buff at 5 stacks is just extremely ridiculous. Any damage, any spell, just take the damage onto it, and it just helps SF5.
Yeah, and
so much more damage over time.
If it does apply the extra true damage, I can see why IGL decided to back off, because their composition relies in just kiting back and forth, and if you kite back together, the Ricochet bouncing on everyone is just going to kill you. Optimus has finished the Zonya's Hourglass. Rune might not find the same assassination that he once had. IGL still very impressive, managed to capitalize on the mistakes of SF5 despite the fact that the window in the mid-game has closed for them.
They've got to slow down the game a little bit for now though, because SF5 with the Dragon buff, IGL, they're still seeking to pick up the first one for themselves. Still in for the struggle on this one. I think we might be in for a long game if you're hungry.
The issue is now that every Dragon spawns has to be contested by IGL, and sooner or later SF5 is going to outscale them with the Sivir and this Sejuani here. As you mentioned, percentage damage on Sejuani is pretty broken. One of the top tank junglers right now in the meta.
SF5 charging down the mid lane. They want to make use of the power spikes, but Zonya's Hourglass is also completed on Seraph as well as Morgana at this point of time. So both of these champions are going to be having a fabulous survival lead, but Rune's coming around on the back. Lucy be able to find anyone. Minus is the person who's looking for, but Azizi finds him first. They're going to be locking down the horseman now. Drops him to about half health, and IGL, who still haven't broken out the fight yet. They're doing a fantastic job carping around, but there we go. Huge ultimate comes in. They do drop it only onto the tanks, however, and Azizi still getting juked around by Rune, making fantastic use of the base gates over there. Oh, Minus and Optimus now. The backs are open, and they do get raped. There's one member down. Are they able to get any more? That is going to be the inhibitor for them as well. And Minus just pick up the inhibitor for himself. Will IGL be able to respond?
Yeah, they shouldn't change here. They have no vision in the bottom side of their jungle hands. Just let SF5 back off, take your losses to the chin. Just defend this as a team now. The base gates, as you mentioned, very well used by Rune. He should be able to find an assassination if he can go in from the back. Instead gets charged on by LGT, who teleports back into the fight. Right off the arcade, being used on the Rune.
Second one, does he get it? Rune still alive, but now Valkyrie in a whole bunch of trouble. Is he able to survive this one? Valkyrie is going to be ticked down by the Ignite. SF5 now on the victory march. IGL, will they be able to pull out the defense? Here comes Rune. Optimus jukes him with the Zonya's Hourglass, and Rune forced to flash away from that one. L1-4, the tanks are back into game. SF5, they're going for it, they're going for broke. Here comes Dazzling.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, the AoE! So good from them! Rune gets locked on Azizi, eating all that charge damage. He's gonna fall. Double kill for the side. Minus does get the last hit, but he's gonna fall as well. 4 members of SF5 will fall, but there's 2 inhibitors down for IGL and no damage sources. Let's see what they can do with this open space on the map right now.
Yeah, respawn timers at this point in time are late enough in the game that IGL can just shove down and take a turret or two. There's a huge wave build up at the top, and someone has to go and defend that from SF5. It will be Carrot. He has no choice. The only member left alive now. 2 inhibitors down, but no Nexus turrets falling as well is a good sign for IGL. SF5, however, looking to close their game out in the next push. They would need to wait for the next dragon to spawn in 1:40. Take that and then end the game.
They might just decide to go for the Baron right now, because they know that 4 members of SF5 are down. They have lost his tanks. You have to see though, 2 tanks in support is that enough damage, but with the Cinderhawk, with all the percentage damage coming in from the Scion W as well as the Malphite W, they might be able to do this one just yet.
A lot of damage being put down, as you mentioned. Slow but steady. Carrot might spot this out. But the Lulu does carry out this steal. I'll be sad to say one of the biggest plays of this split. Jinky coming off the side. Gets the great freeze. He goes in for the steal. Doesn't get it. Sion, hallelujah. Finishes off the Baron.
He's stuck in the Baron pit. Decimation Smash is going to get that. It's going to be the jungler falling. IGL, suddenly they have a man advantage. 5-on-4 against SF5. Let's get a look at a replay of that one.
Let's take a look at what happened here as we bring up the replay for you.
So, oh, there we go. Did they get this steal? So this is the replay of the Baron fight. Take me through this one, Hungry.
Yeah, look at
Show me the magic play.
Yeah, basically they did not respect the fact that Rune did not die. He managed to home guard and run back into the fight here. Hallelujah, and Oil4 so tanky, you can't take them down. Double distortion, straight onto 3 priority members. Jinky as well as Optimus and Minus gets chunked down. Carrot can't do anything because he has no mana, so he has to auto attack his way into helping his team. And now IGL, with the respawn timers, had the window. They took down Jinky, 4 members. They can't secure this dragon now. He's not going to spawn in time for dragon.
Dragon in 10 seconds. IGL, they can force this one. They know that opponent's jungler is down, but the members are still scrambling to get in position, still clearing out the wave. They're perhaps a little bit slow to this one. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. There we go. Dragon is going to be spawning. The dark mining has been thrown out. As a 5, this is where they might, once again, it's extremely precarious situation. IGL, they're looking to pick up this objective. They pull out the dragon for themselves. Optimus is chunking down, raining down the damage as necessary.
Rune is walking off the flank, trying to get a kill onto Minus before the fight starts. However, he gets spotted out by the ward there. Obviously, he is jumping onto him. Decides to back off. Devastating charge not being used to close the distance of the distortion. IGL still jostling for the position here, and they have to deal with the super minions in the mid lane as well as the bot lane. Valkyrie keeps having to rotate between mid and bot to clear the waves out. Of course, SF5 more than happy to sit here and make a pick on Dragon.
IGL. Hallelujah. He knows his tanky. This Sion skills lots of health into the later stages as much as SF5 skills with damage. IGL. They got a fair bit of health as well, and we see LF4 up in the top. He's going to be starting a slow push.
Yeah, I wonder if he's starting the slow push. Let's see in the top lane if he is starting. Yeah, he does only clear out the range minions and allows the wave to slow push out, and SF5 gets the Dragon.
Oh, he stole it! Hallelujah! He stole it!
The miracle still here, denying the 5th Dragon for SF5. IGL's Hallelujah, keeping them in the game once again. This game has been teetering on the edge of victory and defeat for so long, and right now I think IGL might have gotten the morale wins that they needed.
I mean, just looking at the players play right now, the looks of anxiety on the faces. I mean, I'm feeling so anxious right now. I'm sitting over here casting the game, but you gotta feel for these players. It's just such a close game. From a 7,000 goal deficit, they brought it down to 2,000 goal.
Yeah, I think this is what we all love about League of Legends. The nail-biting finishes, the close fights, the great picks. The lane, hallelujah. It's a tank fight. No one comes out the winner from a tank fight.
I mean, in this case, Sejuani as well as Sion and Maokai, they have a fair bit of percentage health shred, so there might be a winner. There might just be a winner.
There will be a winner after a very long period of time, Jason. The wettest of
maybe
wet
3 months.
Fight. Yeah, after 3 months.
3 months.
GPL over, they're still
Here
fighting.
we are
in
in the GPL summer season, and finally we have a winner between Sejuani and Sion.
2,000 gold now. A lot of the gold from SF5 is focused on Azizi as well as Minus, and that's the issue because they can't get into the positions that they want to do maximum damage. Minus, of course, only on the fringes of the team fight auto-attacking, but still, it's his ultimate that you want to make use of, whereas Valkyrie has been such a potent force in these team fights together with Rune.
I mean, speaking about endless fights, I'm just glad we don't see those endless 80 carry lifesteal stack fights where both of them have the same amount of damage. They lifesteal for 100% and just also attack each other. And then they pretend to kite and pretend to, oh, this is my mechanics, watch my starter stuffing, and then suddenly one guy misses another attack and then he falls again. Then lifesteals it back anyway. Like, oh, endless lifesteal.
I mean, you might be seeing that rather soon. Bloodthirster already on Minus and Bilgewater Cutlass on Valkyrie, so he knows he needs to get that.
You're gonna get more lifesteal than that, but
no, the Blade of Ring King here is actually a really good buy against Ozizi and Jinky, whereas Minus not opting to go for that could hurt him in the long run. Hallelujah and LY4, both Thorn Mail now completed. I don't see how Minus is going to be able to shred them down.
Well, SF5. This was their game to win. They got 2 inhibitors, they picked up the Baron, or they could have gotten the Baron, they got a 5 dragons. So there we go. The stack resets to 4. So they have completed 5 dragons. It's just that whenever the buff expires, the dragon counter resets to 4. So SF5. Now they're going to be electing for a little bit of a split push over here to try to pick IGL apart. Azizi tries to be sneaky this one, but LY4 is there to respond to him. And in this stage of the game, the Maokai is a little bit difficult to deal with.
Yeah, IGL, even though they win the fight, I think they still have quite an uphill battle to go. Look at the mid lane. 2 turrets still up before they even hit the inhibitor. I mean, respawn time is maybe at 70 seconds, but I don't know if they can siege that quickly, especially without the second dragon buff that allows them to take turrets down. Because of how much behind they are in the turret game, it's going to be rather hard for them to claw their way to victory now. They are relevant, but rather tough nonetheless.
Blue buff to Optimus. Quick trivia. There we go. Quick trivia. How many blue buffs has Optimus gotten this game? If you have an answer, tweet it to me on Twitter, and maybe you get a prize. But most of the time I wouldn't have won. Spoiler alert, there isn't one.
Looks to be the siege on the last inhibitor turret here from SF5. And with Optimus almost maxed out on items. This goes for extra magic pen in the Haunting, guys. He knows he needs the Leandries to cut through Hallelujah as well as LY4 though.
It's just clearing with the waves right now. Both teams just waiting for the major objectives to spawn once again. So we have gone through EL, CS, Summoners. This is going to be a farm for 50 minutes for the Baron fight. and let it decide the game. We might just very well see that, but so far in all these fights, oh, Rapier. Oh, this might be Rapier. Might be called over here. He does get a back shot himself. What a good Zorius baiting the rest of the team in. But now Azini comes in from the back. They do lose the support, but IGL, they continue to fight this one. Hour4 gets knocked up by this one. Root is exhausted. He has the distortion out of that one. Hour4 as well as the Song doing so much damage. But here comes Valkyrie. He's still alive.
Oh, the double!
He gets a double. Make it a triple. Is how many more is he gonna get? The LeBlanc still cutting back and forth. Is he gonna get the Quadra? He gets the Quadra. Is this gonna be it? Quadra kill on the LeBlanc so far. Can he make the Panther? Minus does his own cleanup as well. 1v1. But looks like Rune's not gonna go for it.
Yeah, that was a very good situation for IGL. The best case they could have hoped for. Despite the fact that Rapier got picked up early on, they still turned the fight with Rune just coming in. And this guy has been the MVP of all these fights. Picking up double kills onto the major damage threats and tanks of SF5 allows them to stay relevant in the game despite multiple members going down early on. Both teams making very sloppy movements around the map, getting caught out has been the result of this game.
And now this is a crazy, insane late game stage. Just look at the wave in the bottom lane. There is a huge wave. Come on, Robinson, show us the wave in the bottom lane. Let's go. Bottom lane wave. Not minus, the bottom lane wave. I guess we can see minus clear out the bottom lane wave, but
yeah,
there we go.
Four cannon minions.
Four cannon minions.
Dude, I told you they spawned to a wave. You didn't believe me.
Yup. Nocturus. Minus starts up the dragon by himself.
Yeah, he can solo this. He has the lifesteal available.
Oh, Hour4, he's going to be teleporting in from the side. The home guards will be coming in. Is he going to be picking up Minus? Is he going to be going for the steal? Does he get it? Oh, no! Minus, he does get the dragon. And Hour4 unable to steal that away. Popping the teleport as well.
Yeah, teleport expanded to not get anything out of that very risky trade that they tried to take. SF5 now gonna finish off this game rather soon. 2000 gold lead, yes, but at this point it's almost irrelevant. With the 5th dragon, they will have the ability to take this Baron away now.
Dragon number 6. Sorry, dragon number 7 already. 7 dragons in the game. Once again, Caster's not very good at doing math. 7 dragons in the game so far. SF5 getting 6 of them, and it's quite a strong stranglehold they have had over it. I have to feel IGL. They should have done a little bit better to identify that the core weapon for my suggestion to use that dragon itself. But
and that has to do with, I think at this point in time, the warding across the map just starting to falter. When everyone starts to max out their item slot.
DZ's gonna be coming in. There we go. It's a home guard Akram. He goes in for Valkyrie, but he goes for a wrong target. Charges on the Rapier instead. Rapier flashes in. Soul Shackles, how many is he gonna get? But where's Rune? They need to find the engagement. Hour4 still nowhere near. The support falls instantly. Hallelujah's gonna be focused right now. Optimus, that's gonna be the Zonias off the Seraph. Valkyrie still alive in the backlines, but it's gonna be a 4v5 right now. Optimus doing whatever he can for this one. Locking up the 2 tanks. Valkyrie still in the backlines. How much more damage is he gonna be able to do? Rune running away from the Hackrim right now. Optimus is still alive. Both damage sources. All members of SF5 still alive. They get the second member. Is Hallelujah falling? LY4 is still alive. It's gonna be a Whimsin zombie over there. And Ozizi charges in the front line. Is he gonna be chopping up LY4? Double kill goes over the Zeraf as he gets into Arcano Pulse. IGL up against the ropes right now. SF5, they're gonna be turning for the Baron.
Yeah, Rune might have to make a miracle play here to keep them in the game, but he gets chunked out by the Arcano Pulse.
Damage.
It should be Baron over to SF5 with the 2 damage and the double bonus buff from Dragon itself. Goes over very simply to SF5, and I think in that fight, IGL, we've seen them consistently out-team fight SF5. Just with the Dragon was enough to push SF5 past the boundary and help them take their fight. 4 members for none, in fact.
So SF5. 30 seconds until Hallelujah responds. 40 until LF4 responds. They're just going to be charging down to the mid lane. Rune tries to get in a position for a sneaky attack. Oh, there we go. The chunk comes down straight away onto half health. 3 shots, 1. Where's this? Oh, second one, he turns onto Rapier instead. That's going to be chunking down 2 members further down low. They pick up the inhibitor. They might be going for broke here right now. When they turn around, they do get the second inhibitor tower. Both of their towers go up for SF5. The first Nexus turret, it just falls so quickly. They're moving on Nexus turret number 2. Valkyrie doing whatever they can to repel it. That's going to be both Nexus turrets. They're turning on the Nexus itself. They're going to get it. It is going to be the game. GG, SF5. They pick up game 1 against Insidious Gaming Legends.
Yeah, so the best case scenario for Insidious Gaming Legends would be to force a draw. Worst case, they get the worst end of the trade, and SF5 come out 3 points ahead. And I have to say, in that game, it was Azizi who powered through the very weak mid game that SF5 had drafted with his great teleports down to the bot lane. We saw at one point in time they just picked up 4 kills for nothing, and that was what snowballed them through the power trough that they had.
Well, for IGL, at the current waiting stand, so long as they're able to pick up the draw, it will guarantee them at least tiebreakers or better, depending on the rest of the results that they get against Aces Fate or whatever that happens the rest of the week. So once again, Castle's not very good at knowing these matchups. Go check it on GPL website itself. Not going to try to predict the future, but nonetheless, what a game that we've had. What a game to kick things off. I mean, this is the GPL. We move on to phase 2. No longer those trolley games where we see some of the lesser teams, maybe K-Tanks by or some of those teams play against each other.
I think the
this is quality League of Legends that we're watching right now.
The level of strategy has definitely developed a lot more in the past few weeks of Group Stage 2. We're kind of saying how IGL really stepped up their game, and the other teams, SAJ, SF5, kind of regressed a bit. But now you see the pick and ban phase and the strategy they come to the game. Very solid, slow-paced game, taking it to the ultra late game and actually closing out the game with the Baron win condition. So honestly, hope to see a second game like that, and definitely more tactical play as well.
And with that, we'll be right back after the break.